Clash in Italy, now officially a thing of the past as it aired just a couple hours ago. It was a good show, maybe even a very good show, but we'll talk about what kept it from being great. That and much more coming at you. All right, so let's get into Clash in Italy. So the show kicked off on ESPN with the Universal or the Undisputed Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Gunther. This match was very good. From an in-ring standpoint, these two delivered. It was better than their match that they had at, I believe it was Crown Jewel about a year and a half ago. This match was very good. Now, going in, I expected Gunther to win, but he did not. Cody picked up the win, albeit slightly controversial. So the match ends as Cody Rhodes hits Gunther with the crossroads, but Gunther is near the ring apron and one of his legs is under the bottom rope. Cody gets the 3 count. The ref did not see Gunther's leg, and Gunther was livid, trying to explain to the referee that he didn't win. You didn't see my leg. Look at the replay. And a lot of people were kind of confused as to what, because typically in these situations somebody has their foot on the rope, but in this particular situation, because his leg was outside of the ring apron, it also shouldn't have count as a 3 count. So this is how they protected Gunther in defeat, because he has built up this reputation as the career killer. So it really didn't make sense for him to lose, but clearly they're not ready for Cody to drop the belt yet. But this was a very good match. Great way to kick off the show. Of course, this European crowd was on fire a majority of the night, and hey, this match deserved every bit of the fire that they had under them. The next match we got was between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill for the women's undisputed championship. This match was good as well. Rhea and Jade, they really have good ring chemistry. Rhea really brings out the best in Jade. I hope this feud and this rivalry and this in-ring work that she's got talking about Jade with somebody like Rhea translates when she goes into feuds in the future, because this is what she needed. She needed a feud that lasted a couple of PLEs, that got her reps with somebody at that level, and they delivered another really, really solid match. Rhea picked up the win. I predicted that. I mean, it is what it is. The baddies got involved, and then of course Charlotte and Alexa helped make the save to even the odds, which allows Rhea Ripley to get the eventual victory. So no surprises there. Again, really good match. I think the whole point of this is to get Jade reps in a really good feud with a really good worker. So no complaints here. Now you gotta, if you want to continue watching and you did not have ESPN Plus, you better figure out how to subscribe, because that's all you're getting on ESPN. We kicked off things on ESPN Plus. Oba and Brock. Man, let me tell you, this was my favorite thing on the show. Even though I wanted Oba to win, this match delivered. It was a completely different match than we got at Mania. So Brock Lesnar, and no surprise, he came out hot. He kind of ambushes Oba and grabs him right away, hits him with 4 F5s just to begin the match. And everybody thinks Oba's dead, right? After 4 F5s, like very few people have even kicked out of 1 F5. There's nobody that's kicked out of 4. Until today, Oba Femi kicked out of 4 back-to-back-to-back F5s. They take it outside. Oba gets F5 through the announce table. It was probably about 7 or 8 minutes worth of just amazing beast versus beast action. And I mean, this, again, it didn't, I wanted them to do something different, but I totally expected what happened, that they gave Brock this victory because they want to run the trilogy. Anyway, they get back in the ring. Oba starts to take the advantage. He actually hits Brock Lesnar with the fall from grace. Brock does kick out, but Brock gives him a couple more of those F5s until I believe the F5 count was 7. So on the 7th one, Oba couldn't kick out of that one. So Brock Lesnar picks up the win in round 2 of this was going to be a trilogy, and Oba will end up going over in the next match. This was the match itself was really good. Probably my favorite thing on the entire show. Now, notably, they released the King of the Ring tournament, and Oba is going to be in the King of the Ring qualifying match tomorrow night on Raw. I just wonder how that's going to play into everything, because I felt like that would have been perfect for him to win against Brock Lesnar and then go on to the King of the Ring tournament, win the King of the Ring tournament, and then face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That's the way to build him up. That's the person to defeat the tribal chief. We got what we got. We're gonna end up running a trilogy on this. I just don't, do you now not crown Oba as because the only way Oba can now not win King of the Ring is in this fatal four-way match. Somebody else gets pinned and you get him out in the first round and you build him to round 3 with Brock, I guess. But that would leave us having another King of the Ring. We'll see what happens there. Finally, we got Sol Ruca versus Becky Lynch. There was rumors going in that Sol Ruca was injured. Becky Lynch added fuel to the fire with her promos, but we got Sol Ruca, and this match was really good as well. Of course, Jessica Carr was the referee per usual in a Becky Lynch match, which in any other sport, this would probably not happen. Well, no, they do this in basketball with Joey Crawford. So it does happen. But Jessica Carr seems to always be around when Becky Lynch falls short. This match was solid enough. Sol Ruca picks up the win as I predicted. I'm like, if she's gonna be healthy, they've got to crown her. This is gonna be good for Sol Ruca. I would like to see Becky kind of elevated back into the main event scene for the women, because there's not a lot going on, and that would be cool to see. I think I'd like to see a Becky face turn actually at this point, because I think her and Liv could really do something. Especially, she's married to Seth Rollins. I think it's weird when you have a baby face and a heel as a married couple, because it just kind of muddies the water. Like, you're doing bad shit over here, and so I think a face turn is good, even though I'm really enjoying heel Becky. But if she's gonna get elevated back into the championship scene, she probably needs to be a baby face, because Liv Morgan needs somebody to work with. And then finally, we got Tribal Combat. We got Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. Again, another match where going in, we're told that Jacob Fatu has a back injury, and that match was in jeopardy. But hey, they went out there and they delivered a decent enough match. It was not match of the night by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a good enough match. It's only so much you can do, and they went into the audience. Roman Reigns threw like some concessions into the audience, and they had some spots. They had a spot where Fatu got speared into the barricade and ran over some poor security guy that was left for dead. Nobody gave a crap about him. But this was, as clean of a win as you can get in a match like this for Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns picks up the win. Again, definitely not match of the night, but it was a good enough match. I thoroughly enjoyed, I enjoyed the match, but again, was it match of the night? Absolutely not. So after the match, the Usos come out. Jey Uso puts the Ula Fala on Roman Reigns. They walk out. Roman's talking his mess down that ramp. Solo and the MFTs are in the audience kind of looking on, and Roman's like, y'all are next. I got something for y'all. The Usos are urging Jacob Fatu to come on with them, because now he's with them. He has to fall in line. And on Raw, we'll see what that looks like. Is Jacob Fatu really going to fall in line, or what's going to happen with that? That was Clash in Italy. Tight card. Every match mattered. That's the thing I like about the tight cards, the 5-match PLEs, is that typically they do pick 5 matches that make sense to be on the PLE, and they kind of deliver. What kept this from being a great PLE is that it was very paint by numbers. There was no surprises, there was no swerves, there was no furthering of storyline that outside of the box. It was just keep it in the box, just play it safe. Like, let's just get out of here and not take any risk whatsoever. And you know, I wasn't a proponent of, when I say take a risk, I'm not a proponent of putting the belt on Jacob Fatu. But there's so many things you could do to make that an intriguing story moving forward other than him just falling in line. You had the MFTs ringside, you had Solo ringside, you got the Usos in the building, you got Zilla Fatu who's chomping at the bit to get out of the indies and join WWE. There's so many things you can be doing with this for there not to be anything in a tribal combat match. And to an extent, it is refreshing. These Roman matches aren't ending like they all ended in 2023 with, a hooded person and now it's Jacob Fatu, and a hooded person and now it's Solo Sikoa. Or here come the Usos returning. That is refreshing to an extent, but I think we're at the point where we need a little foolishness to really keep the intrigue of this storyline and to further it, because there is levels to this bloodline thing that we can take it if that's what they want to do. And I'm just not sure that Jacob Fatu falling in line is really going to do that. That was Clash in Italy. We also got the King of the Ring tournament announcement. I will be dropping a video on my predictions for that in short order as well. One other thing I wanted to mention before I get out of here is we had a match between El Grande Americano and the original Grande Americano at the AAA event on Saturday evening, and that match was probably match of the weekend. Period. It went over 30 minutes. It was bloody, it was dramatic. There was not one moment in that match that you felt like you could take your eyes off of the screen. And this was one of those matches that we thought might get paid off at Mania. I am so glad that they did not waste this match at WrestleMania, because if you remember WrestleMania, and I know you do, those matches were largely 8, 9, 10-minute matches. And that one would have ended very, very badly. It would have ended very poorly, and we would not have gotten the match we got last night if that had been paid off at WrestleMania. So some things just don't need to be paid off at WrestleMania. Some things need payoffs like that. And I go back and watch, if you did not watch the Triple A PLE last night on YouTube, I guess not a, yeah, I guess it is a premium live event on. Go back and watch that. It took up the entire final hour of the show, but it was very, very entertaining, and it was a perfect send off and ending to this rivalry that we have seen go on for over a year now. So if you made it that far, hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you are plugged in. Hit the notification icon so that you can get updated each and every time I drop new content. I'm Wrestling Brother, and I'm signing out.